You just knew at some point something was gonna happen. The reality tree is spreading its roots around the map, with the first of which coming up near Logjam Lumberyard. What does this mean? Well, we're gonna talk about that and a whole bunch more in this video. And of course, if you're new, be sure to like and subscribe. We have known that the reality tree was going to be doing something to the map, but now we know that it looks like the roots will continue to spread over the course of this season. What are the roots going to do? Well, they're attached to the tree, so surely they'll have some sort of capabilities. Is it possible that it could sprout brand new trees? Maybe we could get like 20 trees around the map, and then the Bloom Watcher would really be unstoppable. The more likely option, in my opinion, is that the areas where these roots are at will be affected with different realities, different biomes, if you will, kind of like the Rift Zones from Season X. Regardless, the first one is at Logjam. Be sure to let me know in the comments where you think the next root is going to sprout. This is a perfect time to showcase this comment from the last video from L Cheese, who says, what if the reality tree is actually the 0 point, going crazy like in Chapter 2 Season 6, and if we wait till it blooms fully, it may crash reality and kill the 0 point. In my opinion, this is an extremely valid and fair point to consider. Back in Chapter 2 Season 6, during the Zero Crisis finale event, the 0 point was overloaded and turned into basically what we're looking at with the reality tree in terms of the shape, in terms of all the different sort of visuals that we're seeing. This seems very similar. Plus, back in that time, the Foundation referred to what the 0 point was doing as blooming.
Once the 0 point starts to bloom, there's no going back.
Also, it's worth pointing out yet again that the 0 point is in fact connected to the reality tree, so it would be fair to use the words reality tree and 0 point interchangeably so far for this season. Of course, that would kind of make sense and play along with this whole idea and this whole fallacy of being lulled to sleep by the Bloom Watcher and by the Peace Syndicate, ultimately for something really bad to happen. I still think the reality tree is harnessing the powers of the 0 point and zapping it of its life, slowly but surely. In the Chapter 3 Season 3 trailer, we can see basically all the members of the Seven and Jones, even though not even a week ago, Jones and the Foundation set off on a trip through the 0 point to finally capture Geno. Originally, when I pointed that out in a video, some people said this was just a snapshot. I feel like that's definitely possible for the Jones that we see here, but I don't think it can be possible for the Foundation, and Father Kami sums that up very well. FYI, for people who think the Foundation has a snapshot, it's not a snapshot. They explained that the suits are designed to prevent the Foundation from becoming stuck in the loop and making a snapshot. That's why when his helmet cracked, he was going to be affected by it, but thankfully he won. In case you were wondering, that last part is in reference to a comic book scene. But that's a really good point. The Seven pretty much all have really unique and very intricate suits that are designed to prevent them from losing their memory and even from getting looped in the loop, which is pretty cool to mention and really relevant when you try to consider what versions of people we might be looking at here in this trailer, which is ultimately extremely important for deciding what's going on. Did they already get back from finding Geno? We know that there are many different snapshots of Jones, so I can't rule out this being a Jones snapshot, but I can confidently rule out that this is not a Foundation snapshot with about 95% confidence. Who knows, I've been wrong before, wouldn't be the first time. Lopez says, can you make a video of your theories about the Ice Moon and how it relates with the Elemental Kings? Oh man, I love taking requests. This is actually a really interesting topic. I've thought a lot about the Elemental Kings lately. Maybe I'll make a full video on this, but just to touch the tip of the iceberg, no pun intended, we know that Polar Peak, which is the first place that introduced us to the Ice King and the Fire King, remember he was locked up in the basement of Polar Peak, was originally on the moon that we know that the Seven also has a base on. So that means two of the biggest Elemental Kings were on the base with the moon, with the Seven nearby. Now, I'm still trying to figure out if those kings were living there in peace and the Ice King just so happened to capture him? Did the 7 assist the Ice King in capturing the Fire King? Were they being strictly controlled by the 7, or were they just living there on the moon and that's where they were born, I guess? I mean, I don't really know. For the Ice King, it would make sense. The cold side of the moon can get super cold, which is fitting for the Ice King. What you maybe didn't know is the moon can also get extremely hot, up to 250 degrees Fahrenheit. So is it possible that these two kings ruled over one side of the moon each? I don't know, probably not, but cool. In the item shop last night, there was a skin called Jones Unchained, and of course, it's the new version of Jones with his prisoner shirt wrapped around his waist. The description of the skin says, "Some call him the Legend." Of course, that's a reference to the name that he gave himself to become a member of the 7 back in the Chapter 3 Season 2 event last season. The more and more I think about it, could Jones actually become a member of the 7? We know that the Visitor is very seriously considering retirement. Who knows where that will go, and I'll be very curious to see what happens in the next update. By the way, just so you guys know, this upcoming Tuesday, we're not getting an update. The next Tuesday will be the update that we get, the first major update with this season. So I'm looking forward to that. Of course, I'm sure we'll get a ton of new information. But between now and then, I'm looking forward to seeing what more roots the reality tree puts down, what more information we can gather, what more theories we can get. Of course, as always, I encourage you to leave your thoughts down below, and I would love to feature you in an upcoming video. Hey, thank you so much for watching. It means so much to me. Please, if you enjoyed, like, and if you're new, consider subscribing. Click on to the next video, get another video in, of course, why not? And we'll see you in the next one.